it's Felicity from GetYourRockOut, here with a couple of the guys from Anathema. How are you doing today?
Not bad, how are you, Lee?
Good. I'm feeling spick and span.
Stay in a nice hotel.
I was going to say that's unusual at a festival, but like a hotel is the way forward.
It was like we got there and it was like if Carlin, does the best hotels in the world. Carlsberg, yeah.
Carlsberg made hotels.
Nice.
It was that one. It was amazing.
Why was it so good? Was it like...
Because we checked in and it was a bar. It was a bar kind of reception. And then there was all like televisions everywhere. We were watching the football and it was just... It was a man's, woman's dream. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do completely. I'm really, really glad. And your set yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
It's difficult for us.
Okay.
As gigs go, it was a little bit of a difficult one. We just tried our best to get on, because we had some technical issues, but we just tried our best to not to let the audience see that or feel that. But obviously, I think some of it you could see from the audience, but it's just one of those things. I think when you come off, you can magnify these things and you can think it's a disaster, and it probably isn't. The one guy who didn't have any technical problems is John, who's our songwriter, percussionist, and he said it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't having problems with this.
You just kind of got to ride through it and just like keep going and just be a trooper, and even if you can't hear, you just think, okay, just.
To be perfectly honest, Lee's using monitors for her ears, and she did the entire show with just radio noise. She couldn't hear her voice at all.
Oh, poor thing.
For over 40 minutes.
It was a bit tricky.
Yeah. A bit tricky.
Just a
download, yeah. I wanted to.
I had to take me.
It was a nightmare.
Oh, well, I must admit, I caught most of the end of it, and you couldn't tell, not even a little bit. But festival sets are always really, really difficult. And I guess the more complex the music, the more difficult it gets.
We were up, exactly, and it is complex, and the setup is quite complex. I think we may have learned a lesson about simplifying things and stripping things back a little bit from that.
Festival shows.
Yeah, and just generally a little bit. Also, we were up against Rob Zombie, which happens at festivals. That's fine. He was on at the same time.
And religion as well.
And I just tried my best to just, when you're really up against it, sometimes you just give it more. You either shrink or you just really go for it. So I just kind of really went for it.
And you've got the acoustic set later, and so that's going to be one. Are you looking forward to it, or has yesterday made you feel a little wary?
This I'm a lot more positive, and it should be a good one.
We've been doing it for the last 2 weeks around Europe.
Yeah.
And it's a warm up because we're playing Gloucester Cathedral tomorrow. Yeah, and all lit up in the cathedral. Can you imagine that? I can't even imagine it.
No, it's going to be amazing, really. Just inside and everything. Never been to Gloucester, so it should be lovely.
Fantastic. And Distant Satellites is just, it's like my top album of the year so far.
Really?
Yes, by a long shot as well. And everybody kind of when we're talking about it beforehand, everybody was saying that you just couldn't top Weather Systems, because then everyone was saying it's just not going to be quite there. And I think you've managed it and beyond that. Did you guys have that feeling when you wrote it as well? When you brought it out, did you think actually we've done it?
Yes and no. I've gone through phases of thinking this is better than the last album, and the producer was saying it's better than the last album. But then you wonder, and you overanalyze, and there's been some question marks raised inside the group about, is it really up there? I just think that it's less catchy and less instant than Weather Systems is.
I think it is, but I actually prefer it more, to be honest with it. Yeah.
See, that's my girl.
I do.
Thanks.
I've listened to that a lot more than I did Weather Systems. I think the Weather Systems is great. Don't get me wrong. It's grand and it's big. But I like the sort of directness of Satellites. It's a bit more, probably my more cup of tea, to be honest with you.
Right.
But it's true, because you kind of, I think when something's instantly catchy, you don't necessarily develop as emotional a bond to it, because you've not really had to work at anything, and you've not, you don't tend to listen to something as much if it's an instant catch. Yes. But with something that's kind of more involved, I think you end up listening to it more and realising all the intricacies of it a lot more than you do with I don't know. The thing is, I think it changes depending on the mood you're in. It's kind of such a...
And it's a personal thing for the listener, everybody listens in different ways, but I don't know, we did our very best. And I've only got one problem with one mix on one song.
Oh wow, that's
other than that, I can't really complain much about it. So I'm happy. And we've got the right producer, haven't we, you know? And the thing I loved about it most is John Douglas, who's Lee's brother, who's just absconded from the interview schedule. Just took a
Ran off that way.
Yeah, no, he didn't run. He's kind of sidled off, you know, like looking suspicious. He was there for the entire process, and he wasn't able to be there on the last few records so much, family commitments and what have you. But this time he was there for the whole time, and he just cheers me up. You know what I mean? I'm a kind of a bit of a different character when John's around. That was
You're a lot more relaxed.
Yeah, I think Vinny said that. He said you are a different person when he's there. And he was there for the whole time. So I'd walk into the studio, and 2 minutes later, 2 minutes after walking in, I'd be in fucking bits on the floor, just like, because he's so funny. And he wrote the title track and was more involved on this record. Mentally, he was more involved, even though we have like another drummer now as well. He was mentally more involved. And I just enjoyed having his presence on the record.
He was definitely more ready to be there. The last couple of times, he just wasn't really there in the head, but like now it's like, you know, he's a lot more positive, and you know, he's still thinking of all new tunes that he can do.
That's what you want, it really.
Yeah, well, he's a unique individual, you know. I mean, I know a lot of people in music, but I don't know anybody else who can write a song like Distant Satellites. He's the only one I know who can do that.
He just seems to do catchy tunes.
Because like the track was going round in circles, and Vinny sorted it out. Vinny unknotted the knot, made the music, made sense of John's music, and said, go and write the lyrics. And John went to his hotel room for 2 days, came down with this thing he'd recorded, and we were all just in tears. It's like that, and that was that. And Vinny just sang it. Best vocal performance he's ever done. Now, I realise it's only music, but what the bigger picture here is the family and the bond and the love that we've got for each other, which is really like a bit of a spiritual thing. It's, you know, it's a connection, it's positivity, it's love for each other, it's laughter, it's music, it's melody, and that's what we are, you know. It's like a family. And this is Lee's brother, who sat next to Vinny on the first day in school at the age of 11 because of their names in the alphabet. Kavanagh Douglas. So is that an accident?
And to be honest, I mean, you guys have, I mean, so many bands that have been going for as long as you have, it's all politics and it's like all these upsets, and you guys just seem to have avoided that. I mean, I'm sure that it's not like completely perfect 100% of the time, but when it comes to the kind of fallouts and the disputes and the people walking away, it doesn't seem to have happened with
We're family, aren't we? That's what it is.
That's what it is, isn't it? And we've known each other like for a long time, so we just doesn't know how to be with each other. We know each other's moods, you know, when to sort of back away, or, you know, I mean, me and him, we get on like a house on fire, you know.
We always have, both Librans, you know.
Similar kind of way we think and stuff.
That's actually really quite an important part of the chemistry of the whole thing, is the fact that me and you just have always clicked. And like I said, with John, I'm a different person when he's around. And if there's any sparks, it's usually between me and Vinny, which is just brothers, and we're both like kind of very kind of full of ideas and very strong and thinking and vocal. So that can, but that's part. Like,
I think that's a natural
the creative energy.
Being in the family, isn't it?
You can't do it without the odd argument.
It's always the closest people that, you know, you say the most, you know, things on impulse and whatever. And
I was talking to Les for like 2 hours last night, who was in Anathema for 7 years. He's here, and he said that's always been part of the creative energy, you know. And things happen in that space when the calm after the storm is when like something beautiful happens in the music. So, but you know, it's not like we're not the Gallaghers, you know what I mean? We're not that bad. We're really not that bad. You know what I mean? You know.
And you've just announced a tour for later on this year, like a UK tour for later. I'm so excited about that. It's untrue. Are you guys looking forward to it already?
To be honest with you, Lee, are you looking forward to it?
I love touring. I like going on tour. I like being. I could probably do it for like longer than what we do, really.
And if I will be pleased to hear that. The manager will be pleased to hear that.
I do though. I think once you get into like this, like the second like month, you're like, I'm getting into it now. I'm getting on like a bit of a plateau, and you just sort of ride the wave.
For me, I don't think about where I'm going. When I get there, I'll be there. You know what I mean? So like, we could be going to America. Yeah. Cheers, mate. He wasn't today. We could be going to America, and people say, do you look forward to going to America? And honestly, I don't even think about it. I don't think about it. When I'm in London, I live in London. I'm in London, and when I'm with my family, you know, I'm with them. But when I'm away, I'm there, and it's like, you know, that's it. The only thing I look forward to is seeing my daughter. That's it.
What about thinking about going to Australia?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Again, when I get to Australia, I'll be doing the accents. I'll have the fucking cork hat on. But until I get there, I'm not even. It's like it's somewhere else because you travel so much. Sometimes I can't take it in.
And you need to be able to enjoy what's going on at the time as well, I guess. I mean, it's important to be able to have the ability to actually stay in the moment and not just be constantly too far ahead.
Honestly, a holiday for me is just staying in one place for like a week.
Not doing anything, not leaving the house, just being like, yes.
I don't mind doing stuff. That's why I like the studio so much. Because it's working. It's like a home life and it's working at the same time. But I'm not complaining of the travel because we are lucky. But you know, just staying in the same place is like a godsend to me. You know what I mean? Because it's just move. So we say, looking forward to the next thing, looking forward to the next thing. The answer is actually no. When I get there,
I do.
Yeah.
Because when I'm at home, I crack up like after like 1 or 2 days. I just like I need to do something. Gotta get out. You know, that's the way I am. But
yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's positive. It's all positive.
Well, guys, I could literally like keep you here for the rest of the day, but I'm not going to do that. But thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It's such a pleasure. And we'll see you, towards the end of the year, if not before.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
Cheers, thank you.